I talked with Eyal about when we discussed what events we should do, because we looked for some person-to-person activity that we can do easily all over the world, in a lot of places. And this structure, it's usually called Work Café, is a technique, is a way to have a very deep conversation with a very big audience. So what we want to achieve is to discuss things. So what we're going to do is we have these tables. Usually we can have, thank you, we can have about 4 or 5 people in each table. We have a time limit for discussion, but we have a lot of ways to express ourselves. We have colors, and we can paint and write things and actually bring our ideas into paper. And we want after that to take a picture of it and put it back in the me piece so other people can see what we thought. There's another thing that we should notice, and this is listening. A lot of the time when we come to conversation, we have a lot of effort because we've got a lot to think to say, but the other people around us have other things to say. So please take the time to listen to each other and try to respond to what other people say. Eventually what we're going to do is about 5 or 4 rounds of those conversations around the table. In between we'll have a break. This is a break that you can use for networking. You meet someone, he sounds interesting, he brought some idea that you want to investigate. It's an opportunity to approach him, to ask him about it, to see that this discussion can continue beyond of this event. And about the discussion themselves, we need at each table someone who will volunteer to center the discussion, to make sure that the discussion is running through, because we have some time limits and we want these things to proceed. So later when we start, I'll ask in each table to recognize who's organizing the discussion around the table, and they will read the question and make sure that everybody understands the questions and make sure that the discussion is flowing. So they may ask someone to notice about the time when he speaks, and they may summarize, or actually they're going to summarize in the last 5 minutes. We'll bring a note. Can you bring the music? Okay. So when we hear this, okay, so this means that we have around 5 minutes to close the discussion. And when we close the discussion, the center of the discussion, the one who holds this, will summarize for the group what have been said. And people around it, and people around the table will listen and they can comment. And then we'll switch tables, which means everyone, beside the people that hold the conversation, will go and select a different table with a different conversation. At this time, the center of the conversation, or that's going to continue sitting on the table, will repeat on the summary of the previous discussion of the group to the new people that come. So this is how we can build up more depth in this conversation and bring more ideas and more vision into these discussions.
Fun. So feel free to be colorful, use the crayons, use the pastels, be creative. We need you to be creative because there's tons of people that are going to see your creations online that actually couldn't be here tonight and will feed off of what you create.
As usual, English have some advantage because it's a lot of people understand, so if you can write in English, it can be beneficial. So we have this kind of a lot of conversation that's going on. At the end, we'll stop.
These discussions are going to happen?
Is it me, or is it just general ideas?
Okay, the technique is general, but when you select then they are relevant. But the structure itself is general. Is how people a big group can have a deep conversation on those